Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, I'm out and about looking at some more assisted living sites. We have our youngest ever guest on our podcast, and then once again, our drainage van breaks down for what seems like the 4,000th time this year. Let's roll the footage.
It was cool. And then everybody else kind of followed his lead after skiing. And then DeSantis was like the last one, like one of the last ones. And his, like he was like, yeah.
What is happening, team? Welcome back to another episode of We Are JCD. As you guys know, I had a little bit of a quiet week last week and needed to have a little bit of time away, some thinking capacity, but we are back to our full schedule and we have a busy week. I've just arrived at a job we've got to look at. We've recently been doing some work for a housing or assisted living association. We'd started one job that you see me and Gary go out a couple of weeks, and if you haven't seen that video, then go back and have a look at that. I've got another 2 sites to look at today that they want us to start. They've got a company at the moment, but apparently they are super unreliable. Don't turn up for weeks on end and then just turn up randomly out of the blue, which is not good for anyone. So I've just arrived at this one. This one is in Maidstone. So we're going to have a look round now with Rachel, the manager of this particular property. We'll have a look round and see what we can help them with. I'm sure we'll be able to get something sorted because we use obviously our mobile cleaning teams that go around and they will do sites like this, because it doesn't warrant having kit left here because it's a relatively small contract in the scheme of things. But if you add all those small bits and pieces together, they become large ones. So that's how relationships start. So I've just got here. Let's go in and have a look. Common areas here.
Area here.
Great. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
And then we have like a little cupboardy thing there.
Yep. Okay. Otherwise I'll forget where I've been. How many days a week are they meant to come and see you? Rachel? 1,
It
2?
doesn't say. Do cleaning anyway to do some.
Toilet. Okay. No problem.
And this is the last bit.
Okay. Nice and simple. So we have finished with the manager of that particular property. Definitely room for improvement in that one. You know, I see other people's vlogs and bits and pieces where they go around and, you know, they can be critical of other people. I don't actually do that. I try not to badmouth other cleaning companies because I know how difficult the market can be, and you know, no cleaning company is perfect, but there is definitely room for improvement on that particular site. We'll get some costing back to the managing agent that we need to, or a customer in that scenario. But yeah, I reckon there's definitely some improvement we can make with that one. So that wraps up here. I have now got to head down to Herne Bay. So let's do that. Got to get down there, got another site to look at down there, and then I am going to, I've got some bits of invoicing, etc. to do. We've got 2 podcasts this week actually, so that's going to be super interesting. I've got Phil Smith tomorrow from Indigo FM, and also one of the influential people within the Real Living Wage Foundation, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we've also got Daryl Penson, who is from Foremost, who is a janitorial supply company down in Bognor Regis, which I'm looking forward to. Just had a look around this one. Let's get in the car.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Which we're already in, obviously, and head down to our next site in Herne Bay. Yes, we have just arrived at our next property. Another communal area, another communal space. They're interesting communal areas. The reason they're interesting is because you actually really need a lot of volume, because generally they're not going to have cleaning every day. It's going to be, you know, sort of once, twice a week, maybe, depending on the size. So you have to take that into consideration. So this particular one, I have asked the lady that obviously if she has got many more properties that they put my way, because economy of scale, it just makes it better from cost, because otherwise it can be quite hard to recruit. Luckily, as I mentioned earlier, we've got our mobile cleaners, so they will tend to look after stuff like this. They'd go around on a Friday and just do, you know, all the ones in the portfolio. And we do a few of them. I say we've done a standalone video of one of our big ones that we do, but even that big one, you know, that's multiple blocks, but it's only ever done twice a week, on that particular one down in Medway. So anyway, I've just got to this one. This one's in Herne Bay, and then I've got to get back to do some paperwork, invoicing actually, which is obviously super important. So I've just got to this one, so let's go and have a knock and have a look around. Hello, is this?
No.
Sorry. Sorry. Do you know which one it is? Do you know which one it is? No.
Sorry.
It's definitely on this road. Sorry to bother you anyway.
that's fine.
Thanks, mate. Can't find this place. Just having a wander up and down this road. I can't seem to find the place. I knocked on the door that I thought it was. The lady told me it's not that property. So at the moment, I'm just wandering around like a nutter up and down this road, knocking on random doors to see if it is. Lost in Herne Bay. Send help if anyone is from Herne Bay and knows the area. But anyway, keep having a look around and let's see what we can find. How many bedrooms you got in this one?
11?
11.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Nice and simple. I'll see you later.
All right, thank you.
Bye. What a donut. Walking up and down that, I'd actually knocked on this property already, and because I've got a few to look at today, I'd read the wrong address and I was actually at the right place. So we had a quick look round. Again, just common areas, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, it's not going to take more than a couple of hours to clean, to be fair. They're only small, just need mopping. Not a lot of carpet in this one, mainly hard floors. So not a massive job, as I say, but now we've got a few mobiles, Gary's on board. I would not normally touch something that small, generally, for several reasons. One, trying to employ someone specifically to do that is going to be nigh on impossible, and that might be why the previous contractor is struggling with it. You need a mobile team, or you need lots of small contracts that a mobile team is going to go around, and we had that at JCD. We've got our mobile van crews that will be put on them to do, because we've recently, we never had it previously. We had our specialist teams go around and do our one-off stuff, and they would help out with contracts. But what we've done recently is we have solely dedicated a van team for cover, holidays, sickness, things like that, because we've been caught out with that a few times, especially late notice. So we've got we've got people on board now that are specifically there to do contracts like that, cover holidays, and that just helps us out, because what was happening is some managers were going to do it, which then they're not managing. So we'll give them a price for that one, and then we'll see what happens. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a podcast tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that one. Phil Smith, really nice guy. I've met him on a couple of occasions. As I say, big fan of the Real Living Wage Foundation, so I'm sure we will chat more about that for tomorrow. But I'm going to head back to Guilfoyle HQ. I'm not going down the office today. I'm going to head back there now, and then I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on. Yes, team, we are back at Guilfoyle HQ. I have my laptop, my notebook, and and cracking on with some paperwork. Jobs we looked at this morning, the communal areas, as I say, they're nice pieces to work to have, providing you have got the resource to do them. But we've got that in-house, so no problem with that one. We done a tender not long ago. I mentioned it was a thumbnail on one of our videos, be the biggest ever contract we have ever won. I had an interesting call with the procurement lead of that contract last week, and it is sounding positive. I think we will get through to the presentation phase. It's been a while since I've done a presentation, but you know me, never one to shy away from a challenge. So I am spending the rest of the afternoon at home. I've opted not to go down to HQ today because, to be honest with you, they're doing lots of roadworks down there, and it takes me near on an hour to get there at the moment, which is not ideal considering it's about a 5-mile drive. Had loads of drainage jobs come through. That's all still going as is. Plenty to be getting on with that. I'm actually going to put an ad out for another drainage engineer. I think we need one more, the minimum. So I'm going to get that out today. It's on my to-do list that is sitting next to me. And then, yeah, tomorrow we've got a podcast. So we're going to film that all day and whatever other shenanigans go on. So an interesting day quoting jobs. I'm going to type them up. That wraps up Monday. See you guys in the morning for Tuesday. Good morning, team. It's Tuesday. Been gym this morning, up at 5. Met a friend of mine at the gym. Got that done. I think I'm going to pay for it today, to be honest. Haven't been for some time. Been a slight change of plan. Our guest that was coming down today, Phil Smith, called me yesterday. He has double booked himself, so we are now doing that next week. So there's always plenty of other stuff to do. So I am heading down to HQ because I have got to meet Adam to film some intros. So let's get down to JCD HQ, get these filmed, and then we'll see what the rest of the day holds.
So, Christmas podcast.
Yeah, Tottenham.
First ever tickets and tease a new member of the drainage division.
Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, we record a special Christmas edition for our podcast. I surprised my dad with a trip to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and we tease a new member of our drainage division. Let's roll the footage. Me and Adam have finished the clips we need to get. Obviously, we film our intros retrospectively after, so we know what the key takeaway for the points are going to be, what, you know, the key moments in the videos are for that particular week, what thumbnail is going to be, bits and pieces like that. So we always try and catch up once a week. I have got to shoot back to Guildford HQ. I have a private appointment that I need to go to. Got a painter coming around, so I'm going to go and see them, and then I've got to get in a final version pricing for this big school that we recently priced. As I say, I had another conversation with the customer about that yesterday, and that is still looking super positive, and that'll be a nice one to show. I've actually thought about showing you guys the full mobilisation process with that one, which will be interesting for everybody, I would hope, but show you what it looks like when we finally get a contract go ahead and everything else in between, whether that's the HR process, TUPE process. I'm going to try it and film that all to give you an insight into what goes on. But anyway, I'm going to jump back in the car, head back home, and I will check in with you guys this afternoon. What is happening, team? It is Wednesday. It is now 4:20. To be honest with you, I had a quiet day planned today. We were meant to have a podcast yesterday with Phil, which obviously cancelled. So I took today to actually go out and spend some time on the drainage. I like to try and do that once a week, just to keep in touch with what's going on, to be honest, make sure everything's running as it should. So I've been out and about in the 18-ton tanker. I am just on the embankment, as you can see, with the magnificent views. So yeah, just been out and about really. I like to do that because it just keeps me in touch with what's going on with the drainage. I do things slightly different with the drainage because obviously I've had a business before now. Drainage is what, nearly 3 years old. JCD is nearly 10 years old. And you learn from your mistakes, to be honest. And one thing that, you know, you get bogged down in, it's easy at times to get caught away with trying to grow the business, and that's a vital part, but it's also good to keep in touch. And especially with the drainage being so young still, with some nice new big customers. So yeah, I try and keep in touch with it, try and get out once a week, not necessarily on the tools all the time, but just with the lads, just to make sure everything's going okay, keeping standards as they should be, keeping morale up, just making sure everyone understands that what we're there to do and we're all pulling towards that common goal. So yeah, it's been an interesting day, got lots done. So yeah, a bit of a short update today. We've got a podcast tomorrow, and then I have an important client meeting with another potential new drainage customer. So it's all looking rosy, to be honest. So I'm going to roll a little bit of re-roll of the London sky, and I will see you guys tomorrow at HQ, where Adam will be joining me for our podcast. Yes, team. It's Thursday. We are down at JCD HQ, as you can see. And a nice bit of feedback from our podcast with Paul Evans, CEO at Carlisle Support Services. Super nice guy. I say, I've had a few phone calls. So well done, Paul. Nice episode. We've got another podcast today. We've got Daryl Penson from Foremost, janitorial supply company, so it'd be good to hear their journey. I'm down here this morning. I'm going to catch up on some paperwork. We've got a podcast at 12. It is now 9:30. We should be having a tanker service this morning. Guy isn't here yet, but I'm sure he is en route. So I'm going to get the tanker serviced. It was missing some parts that we needed. They have arrived and he is going to fit them for us. And then this afternoon, I have a meeting with a potential new customer. We have done some bits of work for this company before. We've done a D-scale for them recently, but we're talking about a longer term partnership, which is what business is all about. So that should be interesting. And we'll have some nice food. And actually they're nice guys as well, which makes it even better. So yeah, busy day today. Let's get the laptop out and crack on with some paperwork. So our guest has just arrived, Daryl Penson from Foremost. I'm going to go and say hello, welcome him in, and then we're going to get down to business on this podcast because I am a little bit tight for time. Let's go. How are you, mate?
Very
you okay?
good to see.
Come in. That's all right, don't be silly. Daryl, this is Adam. Adam, this is Daryl. You found us all right in the end.
I did eventually.
Most people get lost in there. It's
yeah,
quite
I
big.
did a couple of loops around the estate so far.
You've done a few miles. So unfortunately, I had to rush off after our meeting with Daryl. He arrived a little bit late and I was tight for time. I had to go and meet a customer that we're doing some drainage work for, but they want to scale up what we're doing with them. They've been using a contractor currently, but they're looking to transfer over to us. We've done a few large surveys and D-scales for them, and they like the fact that with our iTouch system, camera system, that we can white label all their reports. So that was a big win. So I went and had some dinner with two particular customers, and that went really well, to be honest. In other news though, I've had a message from Mitchell, one of our drainage engineers. Adam put it on the screen here. The drainage van has decided to break down on the motorway again. So as you can imagine, I am not too happy. Don't know what's happening. They can't start it, so I've told them not to try. So I'm gonna have to get it recovered at more cost. And yeah, it's just a pain in the arse. So not a bad day overall. Good to spend some time with Daryl. Meeting went really well, but shame to end on a bad note. But anyway, that's how business goes. So that's going to wrap up Thursday. I'll see you guys in the morning for the last day of the week, Friday. Yes, team, Friday. Bit of a bad mood following our news about the drainage van yesterday. I've got our mobile mechanic coming to have a look at it next week. It's like a reoccurring saga. It's been going on for 2 years. I'm not quite sure what to do with it, to be honest. But I've been out and about with the boys on some drainage. We have had some bad weather in London. When we have bad weather warnings, especially up in the city, we have to be on call, ready for any flooding or any hotspot areas that we need to jump to. So to be honest with you, I've been up with them most of the day. It's around 3 o'clock now. Just got back to JCD HQ, and yeah, it's been an interesting day, to be fair. I think we need to take some more staff on with Greywater. You guys know, the ones that have been following along for some time now, I was slow to pull the trigger with a drainage engineer initially, and then we had 2 in the space of a relative short amount of time, and I think we need to scale that up again. So I'm going to give some thought to that over the weekend, because what's happening is I'm getting dragged into the drainage again, which is not ideal. I got out of that scenario, saying yes to more work, getting more customers, which is good, but we're getting dragged back into it. So we can't keep having that really, because then what's happening is that's causing sales dips on both businesses, and I need to get back to what is going on with JCD and supporting Gary and our new admin that's coming on board. So yeah, lots to think about over the weekend and an interesting week. That wraps up another episode of We Are JCD. As always, hit that like and subscribe button for me. We've got a couple of jobs to look at next week. We've got podcasts going on and everything else in between. So I will see you guys in the next week's video.